8 years ago, I took my very first cutting and I planted it straight in the ground. Since then, I've been patiently growing it on, slowly preparing it for this moment. What you're seeing now isn't just a tree, it's 8 years of work, and today it's finally ready for its very first bonsai style. This species, Thuja occidentalis, is sometimes called the northern white cedar. Early explorers nicknamed it the tree of life, but in bonsai, Thuja is rarely used. That's what makes this project exciting and a little risky. After 8 years of shaping and preparing, I'm finally taking the leap to transform this pre-bonsai into a true bonsai. It could become a living piece of art. Stick around, because along the way, I'll share what makes Thuja so unique as bonsai material and why this very first cutting might surprise you. Over the years, I left small stubs and remnants. In this case, there's a piece of wood that interrupts the natural movement of the trunk. By reducing it, the flow of the tree will be much more graceful. Now the elegant movement of the trunk line is revealed. With that obstruction gone, you can see the flow much more clearly, graceful, natural, and uninterrupted. At first I imagined this thick branch would become the defining branch of the tree, but as I look closer, I realize a more elegant design is possible. So instead, I'll remove this heavy branch and transform it into a jin. In the long run, I believe this will create a more refined and balanced design for the bonsai. I'll connect the new jin with the existing chari, creating one continuous line. This will emphasize the trunk's movement and make the tree appear much older than its 8 years. I'll create a few more jins. Each one adds to the story, helping this young tree look like it stood for 80 years, not just 8. If I can make a jin, I will. And if I can shorten it, I will too. A jin doesn't need to be long. Even a small remnant can tell a story. A long jin suggests a branch died recently, while a short one feels weathered by time and the elements. What once was a large branch becomes a trace, adding years of age to this young tree. The foliage of Thuja occidentalis is unique and challenging to wire. Thuja's foliage is a lot longer and leggier, but when handled correctly, it offers surprising control, allowing you to create neat and relatively well-defined pads. But before shaping the pads, I need to begin with the primary wiring to set the structure and decide how this tree will ultimately take form. I'll use this lower branch as a defining branch. Its angle is more acute, it flows downward, and it emerges beautifully from the curve of the trunk. To prepare it for wiring, I'll first clean the branch, removing just enough foliage about the width of a finger to make space for the wire to sit properly. I'll also shorten the inner branches to reduce for volume, while leaving the outer ones longer. This will form the silhouette, defining the final shape of the pad. And now the primary wiring begins. When I want to bend the branch to the right, I wire it clockwise. To bend the branch to the left, I wire it counterclockwise. This sets the structure and flow of the tree. Thuja occidentalis produces a compound called thujone. In high amounts, it can be toxic, but traditionally it was used in small doses as medicine. Early peoples used infusion from its leaves to treat colds, fever, and even scurvy. Therefore, the tree of life. Although Thuja can live for hundreds of years and develops beautifully when carefully trained, it's rarely used for bonsai outside of Canada. Its slow, flexible growth and natural elegance make it ideal for creating aged, graceful forms. Yet most bonsai artists elsewhere tend to favor more traditional species, leaving Thuja as an underappreciated gem in the bonsai world. The witch tree is an ancient Thuja occidentalis on the shore of Lake Superior in Minnesota. Sacred to the Ojibwe, offerings of tobacco are left there for safe journeys. First recorded in 1731 by French explorer Sieur de la Vérendrye, it was already mature then, making it over 300 years old today. Though small and stunted by its harsh cliffside home, its resilience has made it a powerful symbol of endurance and spirituality. Let's go a little deeper into wiring the pads. With Thuja occidentalis, it's actually quite straightforward. You weave the wire between the fronds, working all the way to the tip. If the tree is healthy, the foliage will carry itself, which means once wired correctly, you have a surprising amount of control. I place the wire at about 45-degree angle, gradually starting from the inside and working outward, wiring two branches together for stability. To guide movement, I keep most of the buds and the foliage on the outside of the bends. The branch is bent downward and then back up again, echoing how branches grow in nature. In this way, the wiring not only shapes the pads but also reinforces the natural rhythm of the tree. This is the growing tip, the point of strongest growth and oxygen exchange. Because I want the branch to extend and gain length, I won't cut it now, and I won't wire it either. For the moment, I'll let it grow freely. In Japan, close relatives of Thuja were planted around shrines and temples. They were seen as guardians, living symbols of strength, longevity, and protection. After 8 years of work, I can now replace some of the thicker branches I once left to grow for structure. This heavy branch has served its purpose, but it's time to remove it and use a thinner branch instead, one that's more in scale with the crown of a mature tree. In this way, the design becomes more believable, more true to life. And so this is just the beginning of its bonsai journey. 8 years have brought it here, but many more years of growth, refinement, and patience. Even the front may change. I can already see new possibilities now that the tree has been styled. But the design, the essence, is here. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me continue sharing these stories of trees in time. I'll leave you with this thought. To plant a tree is to believe in tomorrow, but to shape a bonsai is to bring tomorrow into today. See you in the next one.